The C on CPTSD stands for complex, right? And I am not ever going to deny that it really is so complex. But what I'm not understanding is if people know it's so complex and it's so debilitating and it's affecting so many people, why does it get put in the too hard basket and no one wants to deal with it? It's never gonna stop being a complex thing that no one understands if no one even tries to understand. I've actually had a doctor tell me too hard basket, and as much as it hurt to hear at the time, I appreciated his honesty rather than just sending me around the fuck it through the ringer with all the pills, and just guessing and having a stab, whatever the DSM 5 pops out, based on what I'm showing today. And it's really hard because as someone who has the disorder, I can't even keep up with it. So I can understand and appreciate how it'd be really difficult for someone who's never heard of it, let alone someone who doesn't even work, in mental health or health. But the fact of the matter is it's affecting so many people. It's going undiagnosed. And if we actually could understand it and address it, it would clean up a lot of the problems that we've got going on. The statistics would be more in line with the reality of, what's going on down here. And there'd be a more organized way, an approach to assist people to not end up like me. You know, I now, for what, 2 years, 2.5 years, have been having, PTSD seizures because my system is now at that level that if I get too traumatized with anything, it can't handle it, And the reason it's so hard to let go and forgive and just move on is you get stuck in it. But also, I worked really hard to get away from really poor health. And it's like I paid a specialist to help me in the natural world because I kept reacting to medications, I can tell you 3 times in my life that I've had some kind of seizure, and it's all been related to like a drug or a medication. When I was 19 in America, I tried meth. It's the one and only time I ever had. I had too much. Apparently, I had 2 seizures and was out and delirious for 3 days, thinking that my ex was my mum. So that was those seizures. The only other time I've ever had any sort of seizure is the episode in Wollongong Hospital, which they lied about on the discharge papers and with the HCCC. Because when I seized up and had that reaction and they called the T2, it wasn't an actual seizure, but I had started seizing and was going into one when they brought all the people running in with all the machines and stuff. And then the only other one was after I got my second vaccination. Because at that time I was already trying to get off all these chemicals and pills and I was really sick. And I just fucking went bam! And, had a seizure and got really sick. But those were different. That's different. Reacting to a medication or a drug is not the same as being so traumatized that your system is seizing. So I'm now such a heightened state that where if anything sets my system off, I could have one of those seizures, and that's just how I have to live now. And it's really hard to just accept that. It's really hard to go out in community and no one wants to be around you because you're now just so fucking toxic with all this electricity. It's really hard to just accept it and smile and carry on when you're like shitting in a bucket, when you have lost access to basic human necessities, when you're experiencing things you never had in your life until that experience. You've got a criminal, you got a criminal record. You've had an IVO. Your perfect credit score has now gone to like debt collectors. You've gone from being a volunteer to someone, in the community helping everyone to someone who's like, fuck you all. Like it changes you. It changes everything about you. And you guys are living in a wonderland if you think that someone could have the childhood that I had, then get sent against my will by your Centrelink, begging not to go to an abuser, to get raped by a pedo who ruined my life, to have your police tell me incest would be easier for me, and that actually destroyed my life further and lost me my family, to have your health system tell me that everything I'm experiencing is a delusion, to have healers tell me I'm on drugs when they're the one who gave me stuff that caused a reaction, to go to a healing town and end up more traumatized than ever, to be starting a business while you have a job and you're studying, and the next thing you're on the fucking disability pension. Like, this wasn't because of anything other than dishonesty, incompetence, neglect, and malpractice over and over again by people within our system. So if I'm going to be branded a conspiracy theorist for that, all it's going to do is prove my point. If I deserve to rot and die out here, if everyone like me deserves to go through that sort of experience, not get help in a country that doesn't even acknowledge your disorder's even a thing, to have other countries laughing and going, oh my God. I've reached the point where it's like there is nothing to live for. Australia is not for people with CPTSD. To even try to go out there is to go, okay, I accept that I'm going to have a life of agony, a life of judgment, a life of being invisible, a life of never achieving anything, a life of struggle and hardship. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. Thank you for keeping me safe, police department. Thank you for making me healthier by the year, health department. Thanks for ignoring me for nearly 2 years, government, because they think I'm just a crazy lunatic. I've been going over everything with this next PowerPoint, and it's triggering me just going over it. Seeing the statements from police lying, seeing the statements from the herbalists lying, seeing all the documentation of the things they did and what happened to me while I was going through court, what it resulted in. To go through my transcript and my police interview and then read their statements where they're apparently quoting me from that transcript. And I'm like, there is nowhere in that transcript that it says that. But I'm the one to keep an eye on. I'm the one who will get punished for saying anything. So I've reached the point where it's like, if you're going to destroy my life, prevent me from moving forward, and I'm going to live in absolute agony, how dare you intervene with people's suicides and then not help them get out of what brought them to that moment? How dare you tell me that I have a fucking reason to live? You have a reason to live. You have things to be grateful for. You are trusted, respected, believed, and taken care of. You are safe. You can take care of yourself. You can get help if anything goes wrong. So I've reached a point where if I am working within a system who only cares about not looking bad and shutting me up, then I would rather fucking die than be a part of this and call myself an Aussie. So if I, after everything I've been through and endured and had done to me, out of my control, after I've worked hard my whole fucking life to be what you want me to be, to do what you say to do. Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. If I've done all that and then suddenly I'm a criminal for screaming at the top of my fucking lungs about what's going on, go ahead, punish me, put me in prison. Because apparently that's what someone like me deserves, according to the Victorian police. They were willing to lock me up for 10 years in prison. I already live in your fucking prison. You want to put me in the nut house? I already did an assessment with a psychotherapist throughout that court hearing. No delusions, no psychosis, nothing. None of my disorders have ever suggested that I'm not in the reality, that I'm delusional, that I can't tell what's fucking real. It all just says that I'm scared. The paranoia that I have is from things that have happened to me. I don't have a disorder that just makes me paranoid, man. I don't know what's going on. No. I'm paranoid because of what I've seen, endured, and suffered from. I wasn't born paranoid. I wasn't born this way. So, I've reached the point where I don't even care anymore.